Hey everyone, it's Emily from Best Coast Creative. I'm out here at Baker's Cabin today. Sable and I just went for a little walk. Sable, say hi. We're out here today because I thought this would be a good place to talk about archetypes, why we use them, and then talk about the 12 main groups that we use when we talk about archetypes. There's 72 total, but we can kind of dial those into 12 families. So why we use archetypes. The archetype is a humanizing process and allows us to identify and drive with a personality for our brand. And the key is that it's an archetype that is dominant or rising in your ideal client. So it's something that they identify with already. And that's what we're speaking to when we create our own archetype. So the archetype of your brand will talk to the major archetypes within your ideal client. So that's the biggest reason why we do it. It kind of humanizes your brand, and it's a way to identify clearly and easily for your ideal customer. And this brand's for me. This is something I can connect with. So that's why we use archetypes a lot in branding. It helps us to identify, clarify, and keep focus too, right? We stay on target when we have a good archetype set up. So I actually brought out some props today. We're going to talk about the 12 main archetypes. And then we'll talk, when I get to explore, we'll talk about kind of the offshoots and how there's some extras that kind of go along with it. So the first one we have is the Jester. My favorite example of the Jester is actually the Old Spice brand. But we see life as a wild and crazy adventure. There's opportunity, they're mischievous. The Onion is a great brand that has the Jester. Old Spice, Cadbury eggs, you know, the bunny with the clucking bunny. So any kind of brands that kind of use humor or like soft making fun of, right? It's not a mean brand, but they can kind of make fun of people a little bit, or themselves. The biggest thing is the Jester makes fun of themselves a lot, and it's just a way to have fun. It's a very playful brand, right? So that's going to be the Jester. The next one we're going to talk about the Lover. And the Lover, what's great about the Lover is that it's not just about, you know, sexuality or romance. What we talk, I can't think of her name. There's a great book called The Goddesses in Every Woman, and how she describes the Lover is basically somebody who can create a sense of intimacy, but also somebody that just kind of creates a great focus, right? So they're very focused on one-on-one interactions. So it's about faithfulness and beauty and passion, and it's about collaboration. And some of the ones we're going to see are Tiffany, Chanel, Victoria's Secret, obviously. It's about intimacy, but it's also just about connections, very, very one-on-one connection and focus. The next one we're going to talk about is the Magician. So the Magician is fun. They're dynamic, they're influential, they're charismatic. They're manifesting ideas into reality. Some of these you're going to see like Google and Disney. Disney is a big magician, right? And Apple. So these are guys that take new ideas and kind of create fun and exciting new things, but they're also, right, there's a sense of magic, but then there's a lot of times they're going to see they're kind of an innovator at the same time. So the Rebel is our next one. Here we go. They question the status quo. They're risk-taking. They're the ones that are pushing the boundaries. And of course, you know, Harley Davidson, MTV when it first came out, not MTV anymore, but when it first came out, Virgin Mobile, that's going to be a lot of your Rebel brands. So the Sage is another one of my favorites, and these guys, they value learning, right? So this is all about intellect and clarity and rational decision making. NPR, the Smithsonian, National Geographic, the Rosetta Stone, they're all people that are, you know, they're focused on bringing information and right, ideas out into the world, right? They're sharers of information. That's the biggest thing. So the Sovereign, right, is our next one. And something that I keep here, it's not a ruler. Some people can get a little mixed up, I think, because the Sovereign, they're taking care of their entire domain, right? It's not somebody that is malicious. They're not a tyrant, right? That's a big thing to take care of when we talk about the Sovereign. They're traditional and careful, but they're benevolent and stable, right? This is a very stable brand, and you know, you're going to see things like Rolls-Royce, Car Dane Martin for the horse industry, Mercedes-Benz, the Ritz. So these are careful brands. They are. You're going to see they're high class, right? But it's about the care over all domain, and then a level of elegance and, you know, kind of an expectancy of quality that's going to go with those brands. So that's a good one. The Hero this guy, overcomes all odds. He's strength, courage, goodness. Those are some of the key factors with him. The U.S. Army is obviously one of these guys, but also like Doctors Without Borders and the Livestrong brand when it first came out. That was a really great example of that. So the Explorer. Since we're at the Explorer, we're gonna digress a little bit. We have 12 major families, and the Explorer is kind of the head of this kind of outdoor family that we talk about. But within it is the Pioneer. So there is a cheat card on the back of these. So the Adventurer, the Explorer, the Generalist, the Pioneer, and the Seeker kind of all fit into this family. And how you can, there are differences, right? So the Explorer, this guy, he's about creating new experiences, but it's a lot of self-sufficiency and freedom. He's about new experiences, new ideas, going to new places. Where the Pioneer, right, this guy, when he built this cabin, he built bridges and ferries, and there's the exploration aspect, but it has to be tied to creation aspect, you know, or innovation to kind of fit in with that Pioneer sphere. So that's kind of the difference. The Explorer brands, though, when we get back to it, it's REI, Cliff Bars, NASA. NASA might be within the Pioneer family, you know, because again, they're about going out and exploring, but also once they explore, what can we learn, what can we function, what kind of what can we do with that new place? If we're talking Star Trek, you know, that's the easy way to split between the Explorer and the Pioneer is we can use Star Trek. So Luke Picard with his, you know, giant ship running around and exploring new things, but then there were also the scientists, right, that like landed on new planets and then built new cities and new structures and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So that's the difference between the Pioneer and, oh, it's raining harder. We're gonna finish. The Caregiver is our next one. So this is all about nurture and reassurance. Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Allstate, these are all companies that, right, their driving factor is to care and care for the people that are within its group. Procter & Gamble, you know, obviously like a mom or something like that is going to connect with the caregiver archetype within them and the caregiver archetype within Procter & Gamble. So I think we're getting close. Citizen is next. They have values over profit is the big thing with the Citizen, right? They're creating a positive contribution to society. Tom's Shoes is a great example of that. Habitat for Humanity and Patagonia. I actually fit within that group now because of, you know, yes, they're an outdoor company, but they do a huge amount of good for their clients and for the world, right? So the Creator is our next one. And then imagination, ingenuity, creativity, Adobe, Lego, Walt Disney himself. This was the creator for Walt Disney, would be his archetype. And then I think our last one is the Innocent. And so this is a great, right, we're going into a sense of wonder, and right, the driving factor here is that there's a sense of innocence. And the world is new, right? There's nothing bad that they need to be scared of. It's about honesty and wholesomeness and goodness that they see in the world, regardless of what else might be going on. Their focus is on kind of the goodness and the wholeness that we can bring forward. So Method, Lush Cosmetics, Annie's Homegrown, these are all a great fitting brand for that archetype. So that's a general rundown. I hope it's helpful. Again, right there's almost 72 archetypes that we use when we go through a brand strategy process. But those are the main 12, so I hope that's helpful. I hope you can kind of identify your archetype, how you can use it, right? Is that you can start your messaging and stuff like that you put out. You want to make sure that it's true to the archetype that you're out, like it's something that they would say, some way that they would act, something that they would do. And then I think Sable and I are gonna go in the truck and get out of the rain. So have a great day, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions. Subscribe if you want to go on more adventures and learn about branding. All right, have a great day.